So this aquarium has been set up now for about 7 months, and you may not actually believe it, and I'm not sure that I do, but this magnet cleaner has not moved. It has just sat there, and given that the lights aren't on all the time, that is a really big help. If you have lights on all the time, that's the main thing to encourage your algae. But this aquarium has actually never had the glass cleaned. Well, these Oscars look like they're trying to pair up. So when they do that little flicking movement, it wouldn't surprise me if you end up seeing a batch of eggs back there, because that one looks like he's trying to dig a little pit. Because when the Oscars breed, they're like awesome to watch. And they'll usually mouth that rock at the back and try and clear an area where the eggs are going to be. And then they'll dig a little pit where they put the babies in when the eggs hatch. So if that actually happens, oh, here we go, the Gibiceps out. So this guy's just a little bit skinny too. So this catfish, he needs a little bit more food. He's just on the skinny side. So we were just talking about how clean the glass is, and then suddenly the Gibicep came out. So this fella either has OCD or he's just very thorough, because a lot of these fish get very lazy. But this fella is doing a really wonderful job. But I'm definitely going to recommend, because his fins are just a little bit tattered and his belly's a little bit on the skinny side. So I'd probably recommend putting some algae wafers in this tank, or potentially even just leave the light on a bit more. Because considering this tank really hasn't been cleaned, how clean it is absolutely phenomenal. So we need to either keep the light on a bit more so we get a bit more algae in the tank for this guy, or you can get algae wafers that you throw in, but we don't want to go from one extreme to the other. So it's really important that you always got to know what's skinny. So like, for example, this Compressor, the marbled Compressor, he is skinny. So trying to get him some more food would be a good thing. See, his belly's going up. And then this Compressor, they're a skinny species of fish, but he's a little bit on the skinny side. Whereas most of the fish are actually very good. I'm probably not seeing any that I would say are fat, but all in all, I would say these fish are very good. But it's super important that you know what's skinny and what's fat for the species of fish that you keep. Now, one thing to be aware of too is that fish don't live forever. So this fella here is quite a large Compressor, marbled Compressor, and he's sort of got that old man look going on. So this could be 8, 10, 12, it could be pretty decent life. With most of your cichlids, you normally consider, sort of depending on the size of the cichlid, but sort of 4 to 7 years is a pretty normal life. You know, you do hear stories of 10 years and 12 years and so forth, but they don't live forever. And the other thing is that you don't know what they've grown up in. So like, for example, this fella here may have lived 10 years in a 4-foot tank, because the fish will emit pheromones and phenols, and that will stunt the fish. So it'll stunt their growth, but it'll also stunt their life. So when you get your fish, all you can do is put them in the best environment that you can offer them, and make sure you feed good quality foods. Because food is half of fish keeping. And I've actually spent a lot of my day-to-day researching ingredients for fish foods, and was absolutely amazed how many ingredients that are added to poor quality fish foods that are actually either poisonous or debatably poisonous. So I really believe that fish food quality is half of fish keeping, and my favorite foods are New Life Spectrum's probiotics, because that's a cold extruded food, and I love Danichi because that's a slow cooked holistic food. Whereas most foods are full of fish meal, full of like wheat, ash, terrestrial plants that they can't digest, mammalian products that create like fatty issues in the fish. So a lot of fish food is not only cheap crap, but often it's detrimental to the fish itself. Detrimental as in poisonous, or detrimental as in can't actually be digested by the fish. And will absolutely stunt the life of the fish. And I've had a lot of people that are buying my fish food, like Danichi and so forth, and then suddenly their fish start dying. And then when I go to, here's the Oscars doing their little dance again. So that's a breeding behavior, what they're doing right now. So they're looking all Barry Manilowed up, ready to breed. Yeah, so I'll commonly hear of people and their fish are beautiful, colors amazing, health amazing. And then suddenly the fish start dying. And then I'll go over to their house, the water tests fine, the tank looks fine, and the fish look crap. And then the first thing I'll do is open up their cupboard, and then I'll see crap food there. And then I'll go, why did you buy some crap food? They're like, oh, it's a lot cheaper. I was going to save some money. I'm like, no, you're not going to save any money. Everything with fish tanks, you spend it now or you spend it later. You never ever save money in an aquarium by cutting corners, because you save money on fish food and then you got to pay me more than you saved to come and tell you what you've done wrong, and then I'll sell you the good fish food anyway. So you really want to, anything to do with pets, particularly with fish, you want to do it right, and then it always works out better. Once again, with cheap fish foods, a lot of the food, the fish can't even digest in it. So therefore you feed the fish, it goes right through the fish, literally just feeds you bacteria. So therefore you need to feed more food in order for the fish to get the nutrients. Whereas if you just feed a good quality food that's completely digestible, and it's got high quality digestible aquatic greens and aquatic proteins, and you don't need to feed as much because the fish actually digest it instead of just pass it through them.